Welcome, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for being here. Let me start off by asking a question to all of you. This is open to the house. Uh, I'm going to give you a couple of names. Tell me what is common in all those names. Indra Nui, uh, Lionel Messi, Mahendra Singh Dhoni, Sanjay Leela Bhansali, Beyonce. Let's see. Shah Rukh Khan. What is common across all these people? And what is the one thing that they've constantly done? They have refused to remain inside any one particular box. And coming to IIM is a great achievement, right? It's a very big box that is now checked. A lot of you have now been placed, you have jobs. That's another very big box checked. And very soon, you're going to start working in a box, which might be $1 billion company, $1 trillion company, a multi-million dollar company, which is also a big box. And then one fine day, you're going to wake up and you're going to ask yourself, is this the only box that exists for me? Do I not step out of this box? Can I not step out of this box and maybe try and exploring another box? And if you're lucky, not many of us are, if you're fortunate enough, you will get to make that decision yourself. But a lot of us, we are not that fortunate. Maybe it's too late. Maybe we don't have the resources. Maybe there aren't enough opportunities. And we, for most of our lives, we remain in that one big fancy box that we consciously walked into. But unfortunately now, we cannot step out of. So what I'm about to talk to you all is about unboxing yourself. Now, there are 5 images behind me. These are 5 different boxes that I have sort of put myself in over a period of, say, 10, 12 years. But what was the first box that I was ever put in? How do we even realize, how do we understand what the box is? Which box is for us? What is our strength? What is our capability? On the other side, we have what do we aspire to become? What do we dream of? On this side, again, we have what is our passion? When we wake up in the morning, what is that one thing we want to do? Right? These are things that we answer on a daily basis. You know, I want to get into HR, I want to get into marketing, I want to get into operations, I want to get into finance. For me, I wanted to get into Indian classical music, Hindustani classical music. My father was a classical vocalist, my grandfather is a classical vocalist. That was the first big box that I was born into. But was that the only box that I wanted to stay inside? Yes, for a very long time in my life, that was the only box I wanted to stay inside. But the reason for that is that was the only box I knew existed. I did not know there are so many other boxes. And as a result of that, what happened is I got typecast, labeled. People associated me with a certain style of music. Who? Who are these people? My family, my friends, the audience that came to hear me perform, social media, algorithm. Even the fact that one concert went really well, so I got a call for another classical concert. That went well, so I got a call for another classical concert. Success itself puts you in a box. It put me in a box, right? And then one day, I discovered something known as contemporary pop rock. I discovered what it is to work with a band. And my eyes were open wider than they had ever been before. And suddenly there was this other box. And I was like, wait, what do I do now? I really want to do this as well. But how do I do that? I need to step out of this big box and step into this box. Then I realized that there are stages in unboxing oneself. And that's what I'm going to tell you all about. As I see it, there are 5 parts to the unboxing. Part 1, which we already have spoken about. What is it that is our calling? What is our passion? What have we learned? What gives us the authority? Why am I here on this stage? I have a certain amount of authority, knowledge, experience to talk about all this, right? This is yet another box, contemporary classical fusion. Now, I took the first box and I took the second box and smashed them together, and suddenly there was a third box, which is contemporary classical fusion. The first picture on your left, the gentleman in the middle is one of the biggest DJs in the world. His name is Zed. He makes music which is predominantly English. I sing predominantly in Hindi, Urdu, Braj, Maithili. How is it that this guy who sings in Hindi and that guy who makes music in English and with electronics work together? Because there exists a box which is neither classical, which is neither contemporary pop rock, which is neither electronic music, which is not even just English music. There is a box which is a mixture of all of those things. I took a lot of time discovering what that box is. So now I can come here and tell you all, there exists a box which is not just finance, not just HR, not just operations, not just sales, not just marketing, right? And that box is called a startup, correct? Startup founders. There are 8 billion people in this world. Take a guess, you have 10 seconds. How many people end up becoming founders? Take a guess. Give me a number. There are 8 billion people in the world. How many people start something of their own? You'll be shocked, it's not even 10%. Hardly 500 to 600 million people in the world make something of their own. How many people become artists? Less than 1% of the global population. What does that mean? Unboxing is not easy. It's possible, but it's not easy. The sooner we start, the more time we have to figure ourselves out. Unboxing part 2. How do we realize that we're doing the right thing? Time, pain, happiness, accomplishment. The conventional definition of these words vanish for us. We just keep doing what we're doing. We don't care if somebody says no. We don't care if somebody says yes. If somebody is praising us, it means the same as somebody saying your work is not good. Time doesn't matter. There's a reason why people say billionaires either go to sleep at 5 or wake up at 5. It might not be the healthiest practice, but they don't do it by choice. People lose track of it. Why? There's multiple boxes and we're passionate about every box. This is yet another box that I discovered. Now, we refer to this as film music, but it's so much more than that. It's a separate discipline in itself. Imagine this. Had I stayed in the box that is called Hindustani classical music, then I would not have been able to make something that sounds like that. All right. How many of you have seen Dune, the movie Dune? Would you say this sounds something that could be in that movie? Right. But I am a Hindustani classical vocalist, right? All I heard since birth was Sare Gama Pada Nisa. All I heard were bandishes. All I heard were rags. It took me many, many years to understand what the other side is. That there is a world which is far to our left, and there's music like this happening there. And when I stepped into that box, everybody told me, "What are you doing? That's not what you have learned." I said, "Not yet." They said, "That's not what you know." I said, "Not yet." They said, "You cannot earn money in that." I said, "Not yet." Yet, here I am. All of that happened. Did it take time? Absolutely. Do I enjoy doing it? 110%. Was it difficult? 200%. Did I have a lot of reasons not to do it? 300%. Did I still do it? 400%. Should you all try and do it? 600%. Absolutely. How long would you be in that one box? There will be no growth. There will be stagnancy, which is unboxing part 3. When you're good at something, you start getting validation. People will praise you for being good at that. People will expect you to constantly do that because you're so good at it, right? A filmmaker will be expected to make hit after hit after hit, right? You get into a comfort zone, and we've all heard the saying, growth starts where your comfort zone ends, right? We've all heard that. It's not just a saying, it's very, very true. And then there's the age old phrase that everybody has heard, jack of all trades. Correct. But how many of you know what the full quote is? Exactly. The full quote is jack of all trades, master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Now, the second half is what most of us never get told. It's the first half that we always hear since birth. We are all examples that the second half exists, and perhaps it is 10 times more important than the first one. The modern world, in my opinion, does not prefer a specialist. It might reward specialists. The modern world rewards specialists, but it crowns multi-dimensional individuals. And I haven't said this. All the names that I took when I started this presentation, they proved it, right? Now we come to the demonstration. I have said all of this, unboxing part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4. I took so many names. I gave you statistics. I gave you all these examples. But what does all of this sound like? It sounds like a classical bandish that my grandfather wrote 40 years back. That an electronic music producer who is 25 years old produced last year, that is being sung by somebody who does various genres and styles of music, that is being performed in a management institute in a city where I have hardly ever been. How has this happened? Because there have been various stages of unboxing that has happened. And hopefully, this demonstration that I'm going to give you now will make more sense. Here goes. This one's called Umad Ghumad. उमड़ घुमड़ गरज गरज बादर घन आए 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 उमड़ घुमड़ गरज गरज बादर घन आए 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 पवन चलत पुरवैया पवन चलत पुरवैया बोलत बन मयूरी जा रे जा जा रे जा जा रे जा नि सा बसा नि द म ग रे सा उमड़ घुमड़ गरज गरज बादर घन आए 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 निसे अंधियारी बिजुरी चमके निसे अंधियारी बिजुरी चमके जियारा मोरा तड़पे तड़पे जियारा मोरा तड़पे तड़पे जा रे पपिया जा रे पपिया मोरा संदेशवा कहियो पिया से जा रे जा नि सा बसा नि द प म ग रे सा उमड़ घुमड़ गरज गरज बादर घन आए 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 उमड़ pani sa re ma ga re sa ni da pani da da pa ma ga re ma pani sa गरज बादर ढल आए आए. Thank you. Now, my grandfather would say, "Hey, you sang the Bandish, but what was this format?" My father would have said, "It sounds pretty cool mixed with electronic music." My friends would say, "Oh my God, you took an age old Bandish and mixed with a modern genre of music." My friends or people I work with who are now in their 18 teens, 18, 19-year-olds, they will look at me and they'll go like, wow, that is something that we only hear DJs do. So you see, every generation is referring to the same piece of art from their perspective because they are sitting in a box that they've known all their life, right? Your parents, they sent you, well, they wanted you to come to IIM because they know the job that you get will pay a lot. Sure, that's the box that they're in. And unfortunately or fortunately, that's the kind of upbringing they've had, their perspective on life, their options, their opportunities. Your friend sitting right next to you right now might be here because this is just a stepping stone to something absolutely different. That friend has one foot in this box called IMU, has another foot in another box called maybe some startup that they are planning. Maybe they have another foot in another box, which is a training. They're maybe learning something here, something else entirely online. And why do we do this? Why do we do this? We are essentially future proofing ourselves, right? What did Charles Darwin say? Survival of the. But that was only for animals, that was not for humans. So I am going to take the liberty, and you all are my witness, and I'm going to change that slightly, and I'm going to say survival of the most multi-dimensional people, survival of the most versatile, survival of the most dynamic. Because a lion does not need to turn vegetarian. A lion does not need to unbox, but we do, right? We have to unbox regularly, every year, every few months, every 5, 6 years. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Really hope you enjoyed this.